Well, 2024 came to a close a few weeks ago. We had our race in Spain. It was originally won by Liam Stevens, but after the penalty reports, the order changed. But we have now come to the first race of 2025, and we are here at a track that is a bit of a home race for for a few of the drivers. And let's get the show on the road. We are live. We are good to go for the first Tier 1 stream of 2025 here at Silverstone for the RPL British Grand Prix. Welcome, everyone. I am Tiny Iron Wolf on hand for the commentary tonight. Normally, I would normally be Ryan Searles on hand for the stream, but unfortunately, he cannot make it. So, just like with Spain, I'm here by myself, but I don't mind it. This is going to be quite fun and interesting, but I have a good feeling. I think Searles is going to be missing out on another banger that we have in store for Tier 1. We are in round 7 of Season 12 of the RPL Tier 1 season. Again, as I said at the start of the stream, our first race of 2025, and let's get this on the road here. So, let's go over from last week. So last week, it would have been Liam Stevens. He was the initial winner of the race. Kian, I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. It is going to be a big butchery if I try to. And TB, that was your top 3. But in the penalty report, the grid changed. TB was declared the winner after Liam Stevens received a 10-second penalty for turning into TB, which resulted in TB getting squashed in by not only Liam Stevens, who got penalized, but also Leo Lund in a 3-wide battle going into turn 1. And the second place driver, Kian, he received a 10-second penalty because during the safety car restart, he was driving below, he was failing to maintain the minimum pit lane speed, which was 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour. He was doing anywhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour below that for about 3 corners. He was deemed going too slow and failed to maintain minimum speed, and thus he was penalized. So TB was declared the winner, Florian was promoted up to 2nd place, and Jack Miles was moved to 3rd. Let's see here. So let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship. Well, we have a tie coming into this race. Florian and Leo Lund are tied for the championship lead at 82 points apiece. Jack Miles currently 5 points behind the two of them in 3rd at 77, and TB is right smack dab behind him in 4th with 75. And then there's a bit of a gap to the driver in P5. That is HSR Gecko. He is in 5th with 49. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren still has the lead and actually extended their championship lead. They have 160 points over 2nd place's Mercedes that has 124, and Red Bull actually fell to 3rd with 121. Just taking a quick peek at the... there isn't much in regards to the penalty standings. Actually, I don't know why I had that little tab pulled up. But let us take a look as drivers are getting a feel of the track out and about. We have George about to start his lap. Now, this track has been on the Tier 1 calendar every season in RPL history. So let's get it rolling for George here. Fire up the telemetry. And let's get it rolling on his lap here as he come out of the final corner to start his time, and let's rock and roll. Here he goes into turn number 1, 7th gear, around 180 miles an hour, through turn 2, coming into the first heavy braking zone, into the farm. Now out of man, my British Grand Prix things is actually the corners are a little weird, but anyways, here we go down the Wellington Straight into DRS zone, now into Luffield and Brooklands. I know I'm gonna have this butchered. I gotta get the track map up here, but nice and easy on through the gears, down to 4th gear, back down the old pit lane straight. Flying down through the gears, getting up to about 8th gear perhaps, getting into Cops at around 190 miles an hour. And now here we go into Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Flying on through, and he's got invalidation. That is gotta hurt. He turned just a little too early, I believe, into Maggots, and that is going to hurt him, unfortunately. Looks like we'll have to move back down to KVS now, as he's just coming out of Chapel, and down the Hangar Straight. DRS zone activated for KVS here. Now heading into Stowe. I don't know what. Man, I feel bad getting that mixed up. Now into the Vale Chicane. The last couple of corners here. Out and heading towards the final corner of the club. So we go on board watching that wheel footwork here as he comes across. Sets benchmark 26.3 for KVS. And there we go. Okay, it was Village in the loop. I had farm was turned to. Sorry about that. Anyways, Gecko just crossed the line. He got 26.6. Redfire 27.4. Hunted right smack dab behind Ding on an inter-run. Just getting a feel for the car itself. George just retrying again. But now he's just recharging the battery. He's all good here. Now, let's see. Here's Cookie. There's KVS right behind him as he heads towards Cops. Little wiggling around on that turn. Just have to watch that suspension flow there. Nice toe by KVS here as he navigates through Beckett's and into Chapel now. It's a solid lap here. DRS active as he's flying down the Hangar Straight now into Stowe. Cookie is about to wrap up his lap very shortly. Jack goes on top of the 26.2. Very, very solid lap by the driver in 3rd place in the World Drivers' Championship. Cookie now coming across the line now to finish his time, and he's on top for now. 26.1 for him. Let's go over a couple of the. Let's see, as here's Blonde currently coming out of Brooklands now. Let's take a look at some of the big headlines that has happened here. Let's see. So JTK and Minico, drivers in Ferrari that were in Ferrari Academy during Tier 1, have dropped to reserve. They were not enjoying themselves in driving these cars. They weren't having a great time. John has been moved to Haas full-time. KVS has been moved to Ferrari full-time. And CRE Dom left Mercedes Academy and is in Ferrari Academy, driving in Sauber. And take a look at this field here, by the way. As you see this field here, we have 19 drivers involved here. We would have had a full grid of 20 as Blonde goes 6th fastest. There you got Florian here down in 4th with a 26.4 for him. But yeah, we would have had a full 20, but unfortunately, Invade had a Sauber drop out about an hour, 2 hours from the event. So unfortunately, we will not have a full grid of 20 here for tonight. Gecko, he was slated to be in the V-Carb. He's in Red Bull because Egg is not here. By the way, when Egg does come and race at some point soon, he still has a quali ban he's got to serve. That is something for him to work with at that time. Goat Lee, as we're here with now, he is in Tier 2, or Tier 3. He is taking the step up being the V-Car for Tier 1. Let's see what he's got as he goes through these last couple of corners here of this track. Comes across the line, and it is, well, slowest. He's the slowest of this field right now. About 4/10 off of the Williams of Hunted. Let's see, who's next? Who's next up for some laps here? Well, we got a TB going through the hangar straight, getting a tow help from George, or that could be Polo. Could be George or Polo that he got help with as he goes into Vale now to finish his time lap. Now TB currently 4th in the World Drivers' Championship at 75 points. Comes across the line, and he's on top, and very nice time there. 26 flat. Alright, let's see. Next up, we got Skither just coming across the line. Well, he's made a mistake. He's going to have to drag in. Now we got George just going through his lap. TB repaying the favor. So George gave TB the slipstream. TB pays it back on the Wellington Straight. Take a look. Just taking a look as everyone's going on through. Just taking a quick peek at the chat. I see F1 Shorts is here. Invade is here. Jack in the pits. He's all set. He believes he's done enough to get himself into Q2. I have no doubt about it. He's currently 3rd at this time, and he has a very solid lap, and he should be good to go through. So for Q1, the bottom 4 will be eliminated from this part of the qualifying session. Then we go into Q2, where the bottom 5 will be eliminated, and those bottom 5 will inherit P11 to P15. And then the top 10 in Q3 fight their hardest to try to take pole position. Here comes George across the line. It is a 26-8 for him. Cookie, 2nd place driver. He has done enough to make it through. He thinks he's done enough to make it through. No doubt about that on that one. Florian down in P6. He's out. Called it for Q1. I mean, some of these guys will be calling it early for some of their runs because they believe they have done enough to get through and get it done. Taphole puts it up into P14. And Skither, by the way, also crossed a little bit ago. He's up into P5 with a 26.4. We have 3 drivers yet to get a lap complete. We have Mintoki on the field. She is recharging the battery, not getting a run going as we speak. Ding has abandoned his lap. We have Leo Lund on the track as well. Now, Leo Lund is the championship leader, but he is tied with Florian. Oh, it dipped into the gravel coming out of Brooklands. That is going to hurt his time just a little bit. Dipped into the gravel on the right side tires, so you can just see that gravel just kicking up and onto the surface of the track just right there. That will hurt him just a little bit, but then again, this is Leo Lund, the defending champion for Season 11, and, well, basically is basically an esports driver here. He has done things that you cannot imagine in the equipment he's been given. Whether it be in the fast pace of the McLaren, or when he moved to Mercedes, being in the Aston Martin, or Williams. He did things in those cars that you could not believe, and now here he comes in the V-Carb, and he goes to P7. Now this is quite unusual, but then again, Leo Lund did say he hasn't done much practice on this game since the holiday break. Yeah, for those that just for a bit of a refresher, guys, we had Tier 1 back on the 21st? Yeah, 21st of December. Then we were off for practically 2 weeks for Christmas and New Year's, or any other holiday if you do not celebrate Christmas. Let's go on to Reese here, as he's coming out through the chapel. One of 2 drivers yet to get a lap done. Reese coming on down the hangar straight. DRS flying open, getting that speed up. Hits a detection point at about 204 miles an hour. Down in the 5th gear, coming out of Stowe. Nice and easy through there. And now into the heavy braking zone of the Vale Chicane. Maximizing the curve. Whoa! Car got a little Eve on the rear. Ooh, slip and slide. That had to hurt. Mistakes. Mistakes just screwed up Reese. And he's all the way down in P13. Ay, ay, ay. That was just nasty. He turned just a little bit too early in the first corner of the Vale Chicane. Got a little airborne on the curb. And then coming out of the second corner of the Vale, heading towards Club, he just had a lot of rear wheel spin and just had trouble getting grip. And also, Skither, reason his, apparently I just see on the Discord here, during his first run, he didn't have a great run at 142. It was because his Fanatec wheel, stopped shifting. So on his wheel, Skither, in a sense, had gearbox problems. But, man, oh man. HSR Gecko just said, if I'm slow, then don't throw me under the bus, lad. I've been doing an endurance race in GT cars. You're all good. You're all good, Gecko. I did mention about Leo a little bit ago, saying that he didn't have much practice because of the break. So he didn't have much practice. So I think you're in good shape. And your teammate, unfortunately, had his car just went completely evil on him. Here we go. So Mintoki is the only driver yet to get a lap done on this grid here. We have about 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining in Q1. Let's see what Mintoki can do. Now, by the way, with Mintoki, I did see in the fun fact section of the Discord, she got her 4th pole in Tier 2 yesterday in Mexico. And speaking of which, with the races that we had prior, Tier 3 was in Mexico. The top 3, of course, and my computer's deciding to be a little slow as Mintoki's going through Magus, Becks, and Chapel here. Leo Fusion was the winner, AMS Devon in second, and F1 Shorts was third, pending the report there. And Mintoki is invalidated out of Chapel. That had to hurt her just a bit. Ding currently down in 18th. He has to get it up there to get a lap done and across the line. So see if he can try to get himself out of the bottom 4 right now. Comes across the line. He goes P8. So he is okay and through. That now puts Hunted in the bottom 4, and Red Fire and Reese in danger. And also tier 2 yesterday in Mexico, Night Owl was the winner. Goatley was second, and George Alp Williams was P3. But that is before the Stewart reports come in. Let's see. Goatley, we have Mintoki's going through a lap. Tadpole. Okay, Hunted is in Maggots and Beckett's now. Cryptic has called it. He's in P5, so he is good. Aston Martin's on a bit of a swing back. Ooh, Hunted invalidated. He's going to have to recharge that battery to make sure he gets that power back. He's going to need it for sure. Especially given that there's only maybe a minute and a half left of this session. So 30 seconds left. So these laps that are going through, this is now or never. So it looks like Tadpole will make it to the line in time. Mintoki is trying again to get her lap done and secure. She will have a valid lap coming across with about 10 seconds to go here. Mintoki coming off and across the line she comes. And Mintoki, P13. That puts Reese in danger of getting eliminated. And Red Fire is one of the drivers eliminated. He is done. He had invalidation, so he is out. So now let's see. Reese going through cops right now. Goat Lee. Actually, where's Goat Lee on this field? He's going into Stowe now. Into the Vale Chicane. Let's see. Are we going to see one of the biggest upsets of qualifying at this moment? Here we go. Goat Lee coming across the line. He goes P18. Not enough. Polo, by the way, just up to P11. Red Fire is out. Hunted is out. So that leaves Goat. That means Tadpole, the only one that could potentially eliminate Reese, unless Reese pulls out a slide one. He does. Up into P5. That puts Blonde at risk. So Tadpole, only a 10th up in Sector 1. This may not be enough. Unless he does something in Sector 3, he could potentially be knocking out his teammate. So both Williams are out. Invalidations galore for the Williams pair. They're out. Goat Lee is out. Tadpole only up to P19. P18, sorry. And he is out. So Blonde, by a 10th of a second, makes it through to Q2. We say goodbye to both Williams of Red Fire and Hunted, the Haas of Tadpole, and Goat Lee, the slowest of this field. And your top three is the McLaren of TB with a 26 flat, Cookie about a 10th and a half behind him, and Jack is third. That is your top three from Q1. I will note one little quick thing while we're waiting for this field to be all set. Those that are watching, I hope you guys had a great holidays, Christmas, or whichever holiday you celebrate. I hope you guys got some good. If you guys celebrate Christmas, hope you guys had got some great gifts and all that fun stuff. Hope you all also had a great New Year as well, and. I mean, here we are, 2025. It's gonna be quite exciting, to say the least. Yeah, here is your field. As said, TB, Cookie, and Jack is your top three, and we had the Williams of Red Fire and Hunted, Tadpole of Haas, and Goat Lee of V-Carb is out of Q1. So let's see. I'm gonna take a quick peek at. I'm gonna take a quick peek at Reese's stream. Maybe we can see what the weather is looking like for the rest of the session. Just caught it briefly. Looks like it's gonna be overcast for Q2 and Q3, and clear for for the race itself. Caught it very briefly, but thank you, Reese, for letting me take a look at the weather report on your stream. So let's take a look at the drivers coming out onto the circuit as we speak. So the first driver out on track is going to be Leo Lund. And let's see what we got going on here for this group of 15. So, like I said, during Q1, the bottom five after Q2 will be eliminated. They'll be inheriting P11 down to P15. And I mean, normally Cyril's and I used to do it, but we haven't in a while. We would take predictions and guesses on who would be knocked out from Q2, but honestly, I'm probably not feeling like making my prediction for that one. But when we get into Q3, we'll be asking you guys. That'll be watching on the stream here on RPL Formula 1 Twitch. Who do you think will be pole? Who do you think is top 3? And what do you think the pole time is going to be? I mean, TB set a 26 flat in Q1. Let's see how much faster it can get as these qualifying runs continue on. So let's go on board with Leo Lund for this. Out of club, down to Hamilton, straight to start his lap. Up in his 7th gear into Abbey, now farm, into the heavy braking zone of the village. And now into another heavy braking zone, the slowest part of this track, at the loop. Now into Aintree, into the DRS zone. DRS wide open, flying down into the gears, getting to about 199 miles an hour into Brooklands. And evil on Leo on there into Luffield. Looks like Leo Lund had a bit of a mishap in the apex of Brooklands. Now out of Woodcott into Cops now. Now the fun part, getting into Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Gets into 8th gear, 190 miles an hour, riding the curb, slowing it down, and flying on by. Well, 2 riding on the curb in Chapel, but keeps it safe now down the Hanger Straight. Gets to about 205 into the braking zone of Stowe. Exiting out of Stowe, nice and easy, staying within the track limits. Into the Vale chicane now. Keeping it nice and well on the curves, now out of the club corner into there. 26-3 for Leo, but Jack immediately behind him responds with a 25-8. Scaler comes in 26-2. Florian 26-1. Next up is Cryptic 26-6. We have the Red Bulls coming across. Gecko 25-9. Reese is just starting his lap. Go to Ding. And we have one of the Alpines coming across. Ding, 26-5 for him. The Alpine is Polo, 26-8. That's the slowest right now. Let's go to Cookie. Cookie currently going in the Stowe right now. TB on the map. In the Vale chicane, about to start his lap. KVS is behind Cookie. He's going to be starting his time lap. Mintoki currently in Beckett's to start on her outlap. Cookie comes across 26.003 for him. Almost exact 26 flat, just like TB did in Q1. But let's see here. So KVS has started his lap. TB has started his. Reese is currently through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. George backed off. Oh, he's out of fuel. So it looks like he tried to get a lap in, but just couldn't get it done. He must have invalidated on his first run. So he's going to go back into the pits, get some fuel, and try again. So here we go, Reese. Let's see if it is. It works a lot better. It's a lot better this time than his Q1 run. And he goes to 7th. So Reese is about 300ths off of Leo Lund's pace. But bear in mind, Reese is the Season 9 champion. But also he's going up against the V-Carb that's basically an esports driver. Well, let's see. Next up for our drivers, we got KVS on his run. TB just coming out to club now to finish his run. And he goes, wow, P8! 26.4. He might have made a mistake here and there, but that is 4/10 down compared to his Q1 run. Unless this is used sets. I think that might be a used set by TB there. That's what it could be. KVS, by the way, P3, 25.991. We got Mintoki coming into the Vale chicane now. So that leaves only 2 drivers left to get a run in. That's going to be George and Blonde. Mintoki slowest of the field with a 27.7. Yeah, so I think quite a few of these guys that are on that list towards the bottom of that top 10, like guys like Reese, TB, Ding, Leo. I think these guys are probably on used soft tires, just like they were in for Q1. That is the possibility. That's what it could be, in that sense. And Toki currently is the bottom of the pile right now. Top 3 right now, it is Jack, Gecko, and KVS. That is the top 3 at this present moment. We have TB all the way down in P9. He is on the bubble for right now, but we are in the early stages of Q2, so anything can happen within these next few minutes. And we got some traffic coming up. Oh wait, George is on that lap, so they're not gonna won't hinder any of his laps there. But let's see, as drivers are just coming up on their laps, get some runs in, and all that fun stuff. Leo is starting a new lap for him. I believe this is a new set for him. Yes, it is. New set of tires for... It's a new set of tires for Leo Lund here. Let's see what he's got coming out of Aintree. Let's see what we got in the first sector split. And Leo Lund, 6 thousandths up in Sector 1, so he's basically equaled his Sector 1 pace, just a tiny, tiny bit faster. Now down the old pit straight. Let's see what he's got into the Sector 2 split, which will be at the exit of Chapel and on the beginning of the Hangar Straight. Let's see what he's got for Sector 2. He's got a car ahead. That is Cryptic ahead. And Leo Lund just a little bit of a giddy up there, but he does improve to 0.18 up. So that will put him at the 0.6 mark. This will put him up into P5 at this time. Well, let's see what he's got out of the last couple of corners. I think he'll probably be joining up and maybe sandwich the Ferraris. Here he comes across the line. No, he stays in the 26s. 26.025 for Leo Lund. Let's see. Well, we got George getting a tow from one of the McLarens. I believe that's TB got help from. But he's also got Ding up his butt. Let's see, as George just coming out of the last corner now to get a lap on the board for him. And it is a 26.5. And it's actually Cryptic that was up George's butt. He goes in the top 10. Let's see. So it looks like our next driver that will be wrapping up. That'll be getting on a lap. We have Ding right now. We'll see what he's got in the Sector 2 split. Cookie down in P4 has called it. He thinks he's done enough to get himself into Q3. I believe it is a commendable lap. Let's see. Ding about 400ths up after Sector 2. Into the speed trap, about 205, about 203 in there. But Ding's heading back to the pits. Okay, so it is all good there. Blonde has yet to come out to get a lap in. TB going through cops. He's about 10th up in Sector 1. Let's see what he's got for Sector 2 here. See, is George going to repay the favor in the Sector 2 split? He's 2/10ths up in Sector 2. This is going to put him... It's going to put him right behind Florian in P7. Let's see what he's got into the Vale Chicane and in Club. So TB, as mentioned earlier, 4th in the World Drivers' Championship. Season 8 Tier 1 champion. TB comes across the line. He goes 3rd fastest. And he's 6 milliseconds clear of KVS, who's in P4. And he's about 200s behind Gecko. And Gecko's in P2. And Leo Lund has called it. George has opted to call it. So George will be the first one out of Q2. But the question is, with under 3 minutes to go, who will join him? I mean, one of them could be the Sauber of Mintoki, could be the Hasa Blonde, who is on an outlap as we speak. KVS has called it. Same, wait, Leo Lund, I did mention he did call it. But here comes Mintoki out of the final couple of corners into the Veil chicane now. She has the slowest lap at this moment, 27.7. Let's see if she can get a better running time here. Comes across the line. She does improve by a vast margin, but unfortunately, it's still the slowest. Let's see. Jack, the leader of Q2, has called it. For him, he believes he's done enough. I mean, he's definitely going to be through into Q number 3. Florian recharging the battery. Must have made a mistake in the early stages of his lap, so he's going to have to try again another time, a little bit later on. But I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay, given that there's about 1:45 to go into this last section. Blonde, yet to get a time on the board in Q2, and coming out of Luffield now. Looks like Goatly and Invader just having a fun little time in the chat. Seen that, but here we go with Blonde coming out of Chapel. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead. He's got the one of the Astons, and he's got Paulo ahead of him. Let's see, is the out? Oh, that Aston might get in the way. Yeah, that Aston was planted on the line in Stowe. That was ding. So that was ding placed on there, and that interfered with Blonde's run. And unfortunately, because of that, Blonde does not have a lap, and he's recharging the battery. He isn't going to get a lap in. So I think Blonde will probably be upset at Ding for his placement in Stowe, and believe that probably Ding interfered with his lap. So Blonde is going to be out. Mintoki is going to be out. George is out. But now who is going to join those three? Paulo right now in 13th. He would love to get ahead of his teammate. I mean, they're teammates in here in this race, but they're also teammates in Tier 2. But they're not in the Alpine. They're in the They were in the McLarens down in Tier 2. Let's see what Paulo's got. Coming out of the Sector 2 split. 0.3 up. This is going to put him just ahead of Ding right now. So he's got to get at least another 1/10 of a second if he wants a chance to get himself into the top 10. But Cryptic has improved to about just almost 1/10.5 out of Sector 2. Here comes Polo coming across the line. Across the line he comes. P11, he just misses out. And Ding is done. So Cryptic, despite improving, he will make it through to Q3. So we'll lose both. We'll be losing both Alpines of Polo and George, the Aston of Ding, the Sauber Mintoki, and the Hasa Blonde. Blonde could not get a time in for Q3, but I think Blonde will probably be a little upset at Ding for getting in his way. Yeah, Blonde's not happy. Blonde's not happy, but there's your top three. Jack Miles, Gecko, and TB. The top three there. But also joining in, we have KVS, Reese, Cookie, Skither, Leo, Florian, and Cryptic. And I think it's more wild is that the top 9 were only separated by under 0.2 of a second. So this is going to be a very close Q3. Well, we're waiting on the field to get themselves ready to go for the Q3 runs. So let's go over the calendar on what's coming up to finish off this week of RPL racing and what's going to be going on next week. So let's see. So tomorrow, the F2 cars will be taken to the streets of Jeddah for round 7 in Saudi Arabia. And then for next week, round 8, Tier 3 and Tier 2 will be racing at Vegas. And Tier 1 next week will be at Hungary, racing around the Hungaro Ring. Let's see, yeah, I did see that Blonde is not happy with I think he is not happy with Ding for getting in the way. Well, probably Blonde clipped it, but if you do need stream evidence, Blonde, I do have it on the stream if you need it in this case. So let's see, about 9 of you watching. Place your bets, people. Place your bets. Who do you think is going to be pole? Who do you think is top 3? And what do you predict pole time will be? The Q2 fastest lap time was a 25.8 set by Jack. Who do you think? What do you think it'll be? I'm going to say with my prediction here. Now I'm going to go exact on this order. But the difference is that this gap is going to be super, super slim. Probably within 0.07 of a second, separating the top 3. But I'm going to say TB is going to be in P3. Gecko will be P2. And Jack will just barely edge out Gecko to claim pole position. But here we go. Q3 on the road here. We have KVS being the guinea pig for this first stint of Q3. On board with him. There's Cookie, his teammate, dead ahead. Cookie giving a little bit of a slip. Heading into Cops here. Still getting that nice slipstream. Juicy slipstream Cookie gives them. And KVS taking full advantage of it. Navigating through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Into the DRS zone. Up in the 8th gear. Heading to the DRS, to the detection point. 204 at the speed trap. And now out of Stowe into the Vale. Let's see what KVS has for a benchmark. Little wheel spin at the exit of Vale, but didn't seem to deter him just as much. KVS is the benchmark, 25,895, and wildly enough, KVS has matched the lap that that Jack set in Q2. So KVS matches Jack. But now Skither goes fastest, 25.8. TB, 26.0. And now next up is Gecko coming across the line. Let's see what he's going to be having up his sleeve. Comes across 25.888. That puts him P2. Jack coming across 25.7. Jack is on top. Now we have Cookie, Florian, and Leo left to get their laps in. Leo just starting his. Cookie flying out of Beckett's. And Florian is going in the cups now. So here we go. Oh wait, nope. Florian is backed off. Okay. Well, Cookie is going to get his time lap in into the Vale chicane here. And let's see what Cookie's gonna have up his sleeve here. Can he get himself into the 25s? The answer is yes, he can. In fact, he's on top. 25.6 for Cookie. Now here we go, Leo through Cops right now, heading up to Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Gets about 190 into here. Downshift to 7th. Downshift to 6th in Beckett's. And flies up into 7th and out of Chapel. Down and down he goes. Flying up ahead. And 204 at the speed trap. In a stow. Here he comes into the Vale chicane. Let's see what lap Leo's going to be pulling out of his head here. Can he do something insane? Comes across. No, P6. 25.9 is that lap there. So, Florian has yet to get a lap in. But here's what it looks like. Cookie is on top with a 25.6. And he's just over a 10th clear of Jack, who's got a 25.7. But the top 6 is separated by 0.3 of a second. And we have only 3 drivers right now in the 26s. The fastest of the 26s is TB with a 26.0. Cryptic about 700ths behind in P8. And Reese well off the pace in P9. I'll be right back in just a moment. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's just wait for just a second just to get some, just had to get something. So we're back at it. So let's see. Who will be coming out to get their last run in? So we have about 4 minutes left of this session. We have a Ferrari coming out. Is that KVS or is that Cookie? It's Cookie. Cookie's coming out. So Cookie coming out to play. And he is off and about for his run. So Cookie on top right now with a 25.6 for right now. I mean, he would love to have a pole position. He would love to have that. I would like to know when was Ferrari's last pole? I think it's been quite a bit since we had a Ferrari on pole. I would love to see on the stats. The stats would love to play nice. Actually, here we go. F1 stats. While we're hanging around with Cookie here, let's see. Too long. Fair enough. too long, yeah. Let's see. Oh, oh, here's Ferrari. Oh, they had one in season 11. So, since last season, it's been the last time. But let's see. Let's see if Cookie will be able to improve on that lap of his. Everyone is coming out onto the track. Of course, and it doesn't show the thing. Okay, well, that doesn't help me. Well, anyways, season 11 was the last time Ferrari had a pole. Well, let's see. Cookie, ooh, 3/10 down in Sector 1. So, looks like Cookie may not... Yeah, he's backed off, so he's going to wait to make some improvements on his run. Florian's on his run. Let's see what we got. So, a whole gangle right there. McLaren, Mercedes, and Cryptic. Oh, minute 15. Here we go. The last laps are underway for these drivers. Who will claim pole? Who will benefit from everyone? Let's see. This was where the fun gets into swing. Looks like our first person to be the improvement will be Jack. So Jack in P2. Let's see what he's got in this first sector. 13,000 subs, so he's improved by just a tiny bit. But let's see what happens in the sector splits. In the next sector splits, Sector 2. Oh, Jack, unfortunately, a bit of a guinea pig because he's got those guys behind. He's got Cryptic behind him. He's got both Mercedes behind Cryptic. And then TB right behind in there as well. Well, let's see. Here we go. Into Magus Beckett's. Into the chapel. Jack, Sector 2. Losing time. Well, this is going to hurt him. On board, looking at that rear cam. There's the Aston of Cryptic. There's Ding. Qualifying is complete. Let's see what we got here. Jack coming out of the final couple of corners. Cryptic up his butt. Let's see what he's got. No improvement. But Florian, wow, changes all over the place. Cookie's off in Beckett's. And that will do it. TB claims pole by 18 thousandths of a second. But can anyone else disrupt him? We know Cookie can't, because he went off. What about KVS, though? Here comes KVS across the line. P4. Next up is Gecko. Gecko stays in 7th. Leo is spun out. And Reese, only P9. So, TB has pole. 18 thousandths of a second separates the top two. And TB, McLaren gets another pole. And Ferrari, unfortunately, is going to have to go another race without a pole. And there it is. There's your top 10. TB on pole. Skither in second. Cookie third. KVS 4. Florian in P5. Jack P6. Florian got Jack by a thousandth of a second. Gecko in P7. Leo London 8. Reese in 9. And Cryptic in P10. And the top 6, 3/10 separates them. And the top 4 separated by under 2/10 of a second. Wow. And oh man. And I think, yeah, TV. Just mentioned 4 straight seasons with a pole. 4 straight seasons with a pole. Oh, 5 straight, actually. Oh. Well, now we wait and get ourselves ready for the fun that will be this fine British Grand Prix. Will we see chaos on the first lap? Or will we see some great death-defying moves on the first lap? I'm excited. Let's go have some fun for the British Grand Prix. We're just waiting for the 5 lights to come into effect. Here we go. The 5 lights come on to start the British Grand Prix. And it is lights out and away we go. Good reaction from TV over Skither. Cookie gets the jump on the Skither going into turn 1. And the field flying in and getting some position scrambled here. KVS on the inside up against on the outside of Skither to try to get himself into P3. He gets it done and shimming around in the midfield here as Jack losing a position to Leo Lund. Leo Lund trying to see the Mercedes here. The Mercedes forming a bit of a roadblock here as Florian on the inside going up and trying to get by Skither. Skither right away started in P2. He's already down to P5 before Luffield. So let's see. Here we go here. The Mercedes still forming that rolling roadblock. Florian gets ahead and Jack trying to fight with Leo. Heading into comps. This is going to be a bit wild. And Leo pushed off a little bit to the racing surface. Jack moves back over to get that space back, but Jack gets up in a P6 and ahead. TV leads the way ahead of both Ferraris and both Mercedes in P5. And we have some more fields about going on here as we a little bit further back we have Gecko being harassed by Cryptic. That's for P7. Meanwhile, Jack clearing Skither to get himself into P5. Skither losing multiple spots on this opening lap. He is down into P6. My goodness. Well, then again, Skither's on the hard compound tires to kick it off with. There's your timer demographics there. Skither on the hard compound tire. Jack and Goat Lee on the soft compound tires, and everyone else is on the medium compound tire. Oh, that was Skither getting a little loose, getting a little evil. Leo Lund spilling blood to try to take the lead, try to take that position, and he does so. Skither falls down to P7. Man, oh man, Skither is just falling off a cliff here. Those hard tires will just not come up to temp. Let's go a little further back. Cryptic trying to be all over the back of Gecko here to get himself into the P8 spot. Gecko, by the way, smelling the back of Skither to try to get himself into P7, but at this moment, nothing at this moment. But we're gonna have a mega DRS train. The whole field will be getting it. Who's gonna blink first to gain some spots? Cookie gets the lead over TB. KVS looking to sneak a peek to get it done, and he just can't get it done at the moment. He's not close enough. Meanwhile, Jack trying to force his way, flying by in a past Florian to get in P4. And Ding switching out. Gecko has spun it. Gecko in a bit of a half slide. Whoa! That was close. That was very close. But Gecko losing numerous spots, and Blonde got caught in the crossfire. Same with Goat Lee. That had to hurt there. Jack, by the way, in the loop, passes KVS to get into P3. On board with Jack as TB down the inside to go past Cookie to reclaim the lead, and has the lead at this time. Skither losing P7 to Ding now. Jack! Woo! Very creative, but couldn't make the move stick. But thankfully, no harm, no foul between either driver. But, man, that was actually a very creative attack by Jack to do the switchback in left field against Cookie, but just couldn't get the execution right. Wowee. But now the top 6 is in its own DRS train. Here comes Jack on the outside. Well, inside now. Gets past both Cookie and TB, and Jack inherits the lead now. Now, Florian, by the way, down in P5. He is ahead of Leo 1. Now, bear in mind, this is crucial for them because because Florian is tied with Leo 1 in the World Drivers' Championship. However, with Jack leading this race, this will put Jack on top of the World Drivers' Championship at this time. Oh, Cookie had a little slide in the braking zone, but looks like all that happened was he just lost a little bit of time. To the front McLaren's ahead. And McLaren is in a world of its own here. They are doing really solidly so far, and they have swapped positions. TB has taken the lead back. Meanwhile, Florian passed KVS to get into P4. Solid stuff for the Mercedes driver. Well, a little further back, KVS now losing P5 into the entry of Cops from Leo Lund, but KVS not willing to give it up just yet. Now he does. Looks like Ding has just reclaimed back up into the DRS with the rest of the field, so that means everyone is in DRS of each other. Jack, right behind his teammate, not opting to attack. Meanwhile, further down, Gecko clearing George to get himself into P11. Let's take a look at the positions gained here. The biggest winners right now, Jack, is Ding and Jack. Ding, 5 places gained, and Jack, 4 places gained. The biggest loser at this time is Skither, losing 8 spots. McLaren's are 1-2 at this moment. They're about 7/10 ahead of Cookie. Jack reclaims the lead. They switch it back. Let's see any further movements in this field. At this moment, looks like it is a no. No one seems to be eyeballing any moves for positions. Even at the backfield here, with Tadpole behind Mintoki and Hunted at the back of the field in P19. Gecko, by the way, down in P11. He lost quite a lot of spots in that opening 2 laps after a little half spin in the Vale chicane. He's got Skither ahead of him to get himself into the points. Skither was on the hard compound tire. That is really going to be hurting him. As you can see in the foreground, Jack, TB and Jack switching positions again. Oh, little clap together between Gecko and Skither. I don't know what that was about. Also, Goat Lee passing Blonde to get into P15, but Blonde fighting back. And he does so. TB now has the fastest lap. Let's see, here we go. Let's go on board with Florian here, as he's got the 3rd place driver, Cookie, right ahead of him. Now, Florian is right smack dab on the back end of Cookie. This will help him pretty decently. Now, Jack, by the way, has lost a lot of ground to TVs, about 7/10 behind him. I think the soft tires that Jack has are starting to fall apart pretty quick. Those soft tires are starting to fall apart on him. go a little further back. We have Reese down in P9. Gecko is in P10. He overtook Skither. So Skither is out of the points at this moment, which is a bit highly unusual to say the least. Blonde and Goat Lee just swap positions again for P15. But let's take a look towards this front of this field here. Is Jack vulnerable to any of the cars behind him? The answer is no. Leo 1 not close enough to Florian for a shot there, but the Astons wind up switching. It is Cryptic ahead of Ding. And Hunted, by the way, has just picked up the first track limit penalty of the event. And Tadpole clears Mintoki to get into P17. And Hunted into the pits. I believe he was one of the only nope, he's the first of the medium tires to go he's the first medium tires to go into the pits. I thought he was a soft tire. No, it was Goat Lee. Goat Lee was the other soft tire runner aside from Jack. Anyways, Reese, by the way, inside on the Wellington straight, passes Ding, get himself into P8. Goat Lee clears Red Fire to get himself into P14. So Reese has a bit of, well, damage control to deal with to try to gain some of the spots back that was lost in this from the qualifying and the damage that was inflicted on Gecko in Vale. But the nice part is that Cryptic is out of DRS range as Jack around the outside gets ahead and takes the lead back. And Gecko clears Ding to get in the P9. Reese, unfortunately, not close enough to try to overtake for the 7th place spot. Looks like we have a bit of a ghosting incident here. Leo Lund inside of KVS. But KVS is just trying his best, and he does make it. And KVS manages to hold Leo Lund behind despite the ghosting. But man, that was a bit fun to watch. Reese not close enough to Cryptic at this moment. Ding harassing the back end of Gecko to try to goad Gecko into a mistake. I mean, that's like one thing that Gecko would not want to have happen again, is another mistake. But here we go. Through and into the Maggots and Beckets and Chapel for these boys. But let's see. Let's go towards the front of this field. Looks like Florian might see an opportunity, but no, he does not. He thought about it, but couldn't seem to get it done. And Gecko gets Cryptic and Reese to take P7. Red Fire and Goat Lee swap positions for P14 again. So the top 6 are still remaining within close proximity of each other. Jack holds the lead over TB, but bear in mind, Jack is probably going to be coming in within the next couple of laps to get off those soft compound tires. He doesn't want to have any issues. And Leo trying to muscle his way in on the inside against KVS, but KVS, like a fly swatter to the fly, just punts the attack away. And Reese, by the way, clears Cryptic to get in a P8. But now the Red Bulls had the task of trying to catch up to the front 6 and help them out. And looks like we got trouble. That is Goat Lee. Goat Lee has spun out into the grass in left field. Now Goat Lee was battling with Red Fire for P14 at the time. I wonder if the two came together. Well, Red Fire has Blonde and Tadpole to worry about, and Ding the first driver in the top 10 to get a track limit penalty. And looks like Red Fire has lost multiple spots. Blonde into the penalty box now too. And Red Fire is plummeted down to P17. Well, would have been P17, but he took P16 back from Blonde. So that'll put Tadpole to P14 and Mintoki to P15. So the front six is still pretty dang close to each other. The Red Bulls are about 2 seconds behind this group, as TB and Jax, the McLaren, switch again. So TB and Jax switch positions. TB is back into the lead now. Any movements further back? Well, no movement from the Alpines. And no movement from the bomb field here. But Goatley is into the pits and fixes up that any damage that he had sustained in that scuffle. But I think knowing Goatley, he's probably not happy being spun out in left field. So Goatley down in last place from this one. Front six still there. Yeah, Mercedes power versus Red Bull power in the next year's train there. No movements from any of them. But Skidder is within the top 10 because of Ding's penalty here. And Red Fire, dealing with Mintoki, gets himself into P15 at this time. I'll stay close with this top 6 in case someone decides to pull a breakaway from this pack here. I mean, and into the loop, Reese gets attacked by Cryptic. Very solid movement there, and Skither clears Ding, and he is back in the top 10 legitimately. But Reese retaliates and gets past Cryptic going into Brooklands. And Skither saying, "Thank you very much. My hearts are now warmed up and ready to go. I'll take it over from here." And Skither is up into P9 now. Now Ding, unfortunately, is now out of the points, and with that penalty he's got, he'll plummet down to P13 if the race ended right here and now. Let's take a look at this front pack here. I think we got a movement here. 3 wide into the braking zone. Ooh, this is not good to you. Yeah. Jack holds off Cookie and passes his teammate TB on the outside. Gets back past Cookie. McLaren still stay 1-2. Cookie has himself a third. What an attack by both of those boys. But Cookie just couldn't. I mean, he had the momentum, but he just couldn't finish it off. Now Florian, I think he's starting to sense the weaknesses in Cookie. Maybe he'll wait for an opportunity as TB switches with Jack. So the McLarens can keep the switching game going and keeps the competition still guessing. And Florian, oh yeah! Florian gets Cookie, and Leo gets KBS. I think Florian was like, "I've had enough being stuck behind you. I'm going by." Let's see, is Florian looking for a shot? He's going for it on the outside. This is for second place here. Just can't seem to get it done, but Leo on the inside against Cookie here. And Jack has gone into the pits. Oh, wait, no, that's yeah, Jack's in the pits. So Jack has come off of the soft compound tires. KBS is off of the medium compound tires. Let's see what happens here at this field. So Leo is in third ahead of Cookie. Florian will inherit second at this moment. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. So Jack is on the medium compound tires. KVS is on the hard compound tire. This is an interesting choice. So Jack and KVS come out onto the track. They were in 16th and 17th right now, but they got quite a bit of ways to go. They're 26 seconds behind the leader. So let's see what TB and the rest of these guys got, because that means that these guys on the mediums will be coming in very short. They'll be coming in very shortly to try to cover off Jack and KVS for their pit stop. So Jack and KVS looking for an undercut here, but let's see how it'll affect here going into this. Leo Lund, no DRS available to him. Cookie slingshots by, back in the third place. Anyone coming in? And the answer is no. The drivers are staying out. So the drivers on the medium compound tires have opted to stay out and continue on. Even towards the backfield, no one's opting to go. But KVS, by the way, just cleared Jack for P16. So KVS clears Jack before Stowe to get into P16. And Blonde and Red Fire come together. Red Fire gets himself into the penalty box. And some changes positions here. A couple of change positions there. No one is actually close to each other here, as Red Fire and Blonde still battling it out. But it looks like Blonde has the DRS advantage and will stay ahead of Red Fire. And it looks like Jack just reclaimed 16th from KVS going into Brooklands on the Wellington Straight. Just seeing it on the map. Let's see if Leo is looking to go for a shot against Cookie. He does so and muscles right by. And Leo Lund is back in the third place. That is what it is for right now, until the drivers come in for their stops. And still no movement from this group. So still no movement at the moment. So it looks like these guys will be staying out probably for another couple of laps. And then they'll switch probably to the soft compound tire to finish this race off. I mean, fair credit to Pirelli for actually improving the integrity of the tires at this track. Jack Miles sets the fastest lap at this moment. And at the battle for second to last, Hunted and Goat Lee fighting for P18. But Florian not close enough to warrant an attack on TB to get it done. Meanwhile, Leo Lund is out of the DRS range against Cookie, but he has a train, because Leo Lund has a train starting with Cookie and ends with Reese. Let's see at the intervals now. Looks like Jack has gained about 3 seconds on his teammate. So it looks like it could be, I mean, if played right, this could be a battle between Jack and there. And in the foreground, Florian passing TV to take the lead. Cookie passing Leo Lund to get into third. And here they come. And everyone's into the pits. We have Florian, TB, Cookie, Leo, Cryptic, Reese. So that means Ding, Gecko, and Skither have stayed out. They're staying out for a couple more laps. Let's see what happens as everybody's coming in. Let's see where Florian will come out. Here comes Jack down the main straight. And Jack and KVS gets him. Well, let's see by how much. The gap, about 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Gecko and Gecko and Skither brawling out of left field. Oh boy, this is Hamilton and Max Verstappen flashbacks, but no collision in the cops between these two. So Ding down in third place. Polo, Red Fire, and Blonde, as well as the top two of Skither and Gecko, have not pitted. Those top six have not pitted yet. That means Jack right now has the net lead at this moment ahead of KVS, and KVS is out of DRS range against Jack. So I think Jack has played the safe move by going onto the soft tires to kick it off, and he's on the mediums. And KVS is at the bit of a mercy of the hard tires. Whoa! Red Fire getting a little fun with Jack. Jack trying to fend off both Blonde off as well, but Jack hanging on. He gets it, and Polo has stayed out. So Skither, Ding, and Gecko are in the pits, and Jack comes out and is ahead. Well, let's see where those guys are gonna filter on out here. Skither comes out ahead of Cryptic. So Skither comes out ahead of Cryptic, Gecko comes out ahead of Cryptic, but Ding is behind Reese in P13. So only two drivers have yet to come into the pits, that being Polo and Blonde. So Polo and Blonde have yet to come into the pits at this present time, which means once this field is all cycled out, Jack will be the leader ahead of KVS, Florian, and TB. KVS passing Blonde. Now Blonde will probably play the duty of getting in Florian's way here. No, he's off into the pits. But he does slow down Florian just a little bit, because TB almost attacked him in the Vale. So now Jack inherits the lead. Leo Lund takes fastest lap, and the gap between Jack and KVS, 1.8 seconds. So Jack played it smart with the soft to medium strategy. So Jack is just gonna go into cruise control and run off with this. But maybe Florian and TB may say some hellos here. Florian goes up in the second, TB into third, and Cookie battling Leo Lund. Cookie and KVS moving to block Leo. So Cookie gets himself into P4, and Leo is stuck on the inside dealing with both the Ferraris. He's sandwiched between both Ferraris, but KVS will fall to P6, and Leo will be in P5 with Cookie in P4. But now Florian has the faster compound tire available to him. So now in TB's case, he needs to get by Florian to keep the gap down. He does so. Leo Lund, by the way, passes Cookie to get himself into P4. I would take a look quickly to see what the top six is like in regards to track limit warnings and penalties, but I really don't want to take a look because it'll interfere with any fun, great battles that could happen a little late in a little bit. Red Fire gets himself his second penalty of the event, and we just lost Hunted. So Hunted has lagged out. So we lost him, but now Florian chasing down TB to go down the inside. He's going in, taking in the second. He does so. Florian takes second place back. But the more these guys battle on, this is going to give Jack more comfortable breathing space to pull further ahead from these drivers. I mean, he was about 1.8 seconds ahead of KVS when these guys came out. That gap increased by about 0.4 of a second in the span of almost 2 laps. But now TB has a bit of a problem because he wants to get past Florian, but now he's got Leo Lund breathing down his neck. Let's see what happens here. Here comes TB down the inside against Florian. Does not do so, but Leo saying, hello, I'm here. I'm now on the inside here to take that 3rd place. TB trying his damnedest to fight back. Switch back by Leo Lund in a club. And wheel-to-wheel racing by these guys. These two are not going to give up into turn 1. Not giving up here. Still wheel-to-wheel. TB maintains 3rd place. And this is something that Florian would loves. To see his competition behind fight amongst themselves. And that can give Florian an opportunity to try to chase down Jack. And try to get himself into a position to try to win this race. Leo on the inside in Brooklyn's. TB fighting back. And he does so. This is fun stuff here. On board with Cookie. As he's right behind these guys. Once we cross the line, we have about 6 laps left. And this, I think right now, given the gap, this is Jack's race to lose here. Ah, here we go. Whoa! You gotta be kidding me. Battles all over. Florian goes from 2nd to 5th. Leo and TB get by him. And then Cookie, despite dipping into the gravel for a tiny bit, gets by him as well. This is fantastic racing. This is fantastic racing here, people. Oh, here we go now. Out of the loop now. Jack pulling away even further. Just a little bit. 2.3 seconds to gap now. TB now at the head of this train. Leo Lund right behind, recharging the battery. Same with Cookie, Florian, and look who just popped back up into the scene. KVS, ding dong, hello, I have returned. And then we have a little mini DRS train behind them. Gecko, Reese, Skither, Ding, and Cryptic, just like earlier. Oh! Florian made a mistake! I think he had a lockup and lost that 4th place to Cookie. And I just saw the lockup there, but that was a little sketchy there. Here comes Leo Lund. They have a shot down on TB. No go. TB scouts it well and keeps ahead. Go a little further back. Let's take a look at the McLarens and versus the Mercedes group, the Astons and the Mercedes of Skither. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see. I think Skither looking down the inside, he does see an opportunity, but not enough chance to get a warranted attack to pass by. Meanwhile, TB still holding Leo back. Still keeping Cookie back, but let's see what we got here between these guys. Nope, Skither not close enough to go for a shot here. There's no chance of a safety car happening at this point in time in this Grand Prix. But on board with Skither, chasing Reese down. This is for P8 right now. They're close and close, but no, maybe not. Skither's risking it. On the inside in Maggots, and he gets it done. That is a very nice, great attack by Reese there. By Skither to get past Reese. And Leo Lund passing TB to get himself in a P2. And this is actually a bit crucial here because right now, in the live championship result, in live championship standings, the fastest lap is held by Leo, which means right now, at this present moment, Jack, I believe, will take the championship lead if the race ends right now as it stands, and Leo will be 1 point behind him in second place. And I think TB might take third. TB down the inside of Leo to say, no way, I'm taking a spot back. And Skither, by the way, gets past Gecko to get himself in a P7. But back to what I was mentioning a little bit ago. Oh! Cookie's way off! What the hell happened? Did Florian and Cookie come together? I couldn't get a good angle if it were on the camera there, but someone helped me on that one. Gecko into the penalty box, and Leo passing TB to get himself back into P3. My goodness, and Skither just passed Cookie to get into P6. What in the world just happened to Cookie? I was on board, I was on with Cookie, and then he just went off on the exit of the left field, but the camera angle was just so bad I couldn't see it. Florian just bounced off under the curb. Well, with only 3 to go, Jack's lead did shrink by about half a second, but here we go. TB down the inside again. Takes P3 back. It was going too well to be true. Yeah. I feel you're in vain. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. 3 wide. Florian playing the aggressor. Oh my god, you are joking. You are joking. Whoa. Reese in the penalty box, and Florian is just muscling his way by these guys. You gotta be kidding me. Another 3 wide. Oh no! Oh! I think KVS got a little too ambitious on the attack. On that attack, and still both him and Florian went into a half slide, and Florian now losing out. My goodness. I think the pressure of Silverstone is really firing in on these guys here. My goodness. And that scrap, by the way, just gave Jack a 1.5 lead extra over these guys. So final lap. So unless something catastrophic goes wrong for Jack, Jack is on point to getting a win in this race. I believe this is going to be his first British Grand Prix victory. TB chasing Leo down. Now this is for all the marbles here. They're staying in tune, maybe not. TB on the inside gets past Leo to get in the second, but on the final lap, this is where everything comes into play. We're going to see a brawl and a fight between these guys as the Mercedes are fighting over in P5 right now. Final lap in play. We have a brawl for P2. We could have a brawl for P3, and we have brawls further on back. Anything can happen here. This is a war here from 2nd down to 11th here. Here we go. TV and Leo saving the battery. They're saving the battery available. So they're going to dump it all on the hangar straight. They're going to dump it all on the hangar straight here. Question is who will blink first as they come on in. This is it. Here we go. Oh, my heart. This is going to be really wild here. I'll go up. Let's take a look. Who's going to blink first? The DRS active. TV. KVS. Ooh. Oh, TV gets forced. TV gets forced up, but that was a war there. Jack Miles coming across to win the British Grand Prix for the first time in his career. TB getting second. We have a wreck behind to finish it off. Wow. Leo Lund at third. Skither 4. KBS 5. Florian 6. Gecko 7. Cryptic 7. Gecko 8. Cookie at 9. And Reese will round out the top 10. Ding couldn't get into the points. He is out. And the Alpines come across together 12th and 13th. George over Polo. But, geez Louise. I mean, we just saw that because coming out of Stowe, Leo had a snap of understeer or oversteer and got into the side of TB, and they both went off. But Jack has pulled off the victory here at Silverstone. And the podium celebration underway. So McLaren 1-2 and Leo Lund in third. But this is unofficial, pending any STIR reports later on. But the celebration will be underway here. And fair credit to Jack to getting it done. The game listed him as driver today. I will say this, I think he very much so deserves it for winning the British Grand Prix for the first time in his career in Tier 1. Is very solid work for him as well. Another driver to commend for Skither. Started in second, dropped all the way down to just out of the points within the first 5 laps, but then recovered after getting off of those hards and recovered a P4. That is very commendable as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it right there. That's pretty much the driver today. So main driver today, probably Jack, and the only other contender would be Skither for that bit of a recovery run in hindsight there. And I mean, you can also include Cryptic as well. Bit of a silent runner in the mid top 10 the whole time, finishing in P7 is quite commendable for KVS there. Wow. That was a wild last few laps. What do you say on that one? That was quite a wild last few laps, wouldn't you agree? Well, that is going to conclude the stream for tonight here. But like I said earlier on, for tomorrow, we wrap off that week with F2. We'll be competing at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. And then next week, Tier 3 on Thursday and Tier 2 on Friday. We'll be racing in Vegas. We're coming to the end of the season for those two tiers before the next upcoming season, which will be Season 4 for Tier 3 and Season 16 of Tier 2, which will be the 20th season overall for Tier 2. And for Tier 1, next week, we'll be at the Hungaroring in Hungary. So, RPL Streams, Ty and I will signing off. Good night. Have a great one.